know, and I have this rope tied up to me, and the other side is supposed to be tied up to Rachel, so that if everything collapses, I can still pull on it, and she knows, okay, I got to go save my husband. And I keep on digging, and my hands are fucking all blistered up, and they're bleeding, and I got dirt in my eyes, and I can't see at times, and I'm so fatigued, and my muscles hurt, and I'm getting cramps, and I'm frustrated, and I'm like, damn, how come nobody's coming down here to dig this hole? I'm not digging this hole for me, I'm digging this hole for us. And I'm frustrated, and then I have to realize and tell myself, well, no, that's what a father does. That's what a husband does. That's what a man does, right? And I have this rope tied up to me, and the other side is supposed to be tied up to Rachel, so that if everything collapses, I can still pull on it, and she knows, okay, I got to go save my husband. And I keep on digging, and my hands are fucking all blistered up, and they're bleeding, and I got dirt in my eyes, and I can't see at times, and I'm so fatigued, and my muscles hurt, and I'm getting cramps, and I'm frustrated, and I'm like, damn, how come nobody's coming down here to dig this hole? I'm not digging this hole for me, I'm digging this hole for us. And I'm frustrated, and then I have to realize and tell myself, well, no, that's what a father does. That's what a husband does. That's what a man does, right? I'm having a good day today, this morning, right? I woke up in sort of a good mood. I was watching some videos on my phone of me and Mercy messing around, and it sort of started my day off in a good mood, right? Got a couple good text messages early in the morning, and it just started me off on the right foot, right? Yesterday, not so much. Yesterday, I was struggling. It was just wasn't a good day for me. I start to realize, I guess I sort of thought I was over the hump. And then I realized quickly, like yesterday, that I wasn't. I went to Walmart to grab something. I found myself just walking through the aisles for 45 minutes or an hour. And I had to get Mercy some hair products, some detangler spray, and seeing what they have. And I kept on seeing products that Rachel used or that the girls used, and it's just subtle reminders, right? It didn't feel very good. It was just made for a rough night, and then going home by myself, coming home to an empty house. This shit never feels good, right? Never. Just don't feel good coming home to an empty house for me, especially because I'm such a family man, right? So with me struggling, I realized that, the way I viewed, it's like I was working for the past 15 years, damn near. I've been working, or I've been striving towards the goal of not coming home to an empty house, right? By the stuff that I did, also by the stuff that I didn't do. I've been working and planning and putting forth all my energy to make sure that my family was well taken care of, and I viewed that as my children and my wife also. Um, and I've been working so hard towards that goal. And then now I see that goal's it's just not there anymore, right? And it's not a good feeling whatsoever, to say the least. It's a horrible feeling. Where for me it would be easier if I was a scumbag, or if I was a piece of shit, or if I took my wife and my family for granted in the wrong ways, then I could sort of understand it, right? And then I just was like, man, maybe this just isn't for me to understand. And I started to think about, and I was like, man, so for the past 15 years when we first got together, right? And I equate it to, it's almost like digging a hole, right? If you dig this hole and you dig for 15 years straight, you're going to get down to the bottom, and you're going to have a payoff, right? And the payoff is going to be security. But when you're done digging that hole, you're going to have to dig another one because that's just what we do, right? We just have to, it's sort of like the next goal and the next payoff. And I was digging that hole, right? And at first, it was me, Rachel, and the children, and we were all digging that hole as a family, right? And then naturally, the children sort of get tired after a little while. And then me being the man of the house and the leader, I have to tell Rachel, yo, go ahead, you take care of the kids. I'm going to still dig this hole though, right? And I'm digging the hole. And at first she's coming and making sure I got water. She's making sure I got food so that I could continue to have the energy and the motivation to dig the hole. And the kids are coming out and telling me, keep on going. You're doing a good job, Dad. You're doing a good job. And they'll bring me some ice water, and they might bring me some lotion or something for my hands because, of course, throughout the course of digging that hole, my hands are getting calloused and getting beat up, and I'm getting tired and I'm filthy, right? And I come home at night and I take a shower and get ready to go back out and dig that hole. And then we hit hard parts where there's more rocks than dirt, and then sometimes there's more dirt and the soil is a little softer and it's easier to get through, right? And sometimes because it's easier to dig through, we sort of forget that, damn, I just got through a whole bunch of rock that I had to use a fucking jackhammer and I had to use a pickaxe to get through. But all along, the family's cheering for you, right? And they're like, come on, dig that hole. You could do it. You could do it. And then you have people outside that's cheering on you. And then you have people that might be watching and be like, damn, he said he was going to dig that hole and he's digging it. And his family supporting him. And mind you, this is the first hole I've ever dug. I didn't know how to do this, right? So I watched YouTube, made a whole bunch of mistakes along the way while digging the hole, right? Stuff that I could have done easier and made it more efficient, right? I could have wore gloves different times. I got frustrated maybe because the kids and Rachel didn't bring me water when I was thirsty. And I was like, damn, you guys know I'm out here and it's this blazing sun. I just need some water. I shouldn't have to ask for it, right? You guys know I'm out here working for us. And then maybe times when it was cold and I'm out there working. And then as I started to make some progress and started to get down a little bit, right? After a couple years, the sides sort of start caving in. So I'm realizing, all right, this is a little bit more than just digging a hole. I have to brace the outside walls because if not, everything is just going to cave down in on me. So then I start learning how to brace the walls and start learning how to maneuver and communicate because now they can't see me because the hole's a little deeper, right? And they can't see me. So I have to tell them, yo, if I pull the rope, that means that I want water. And if I pull it 2 times, that means that I want some food, you know? And I have this rope tied up to me and the other side is supposed to be tied up to Rachel so that if everything collapses, I can still pull on it and she knows, okay, I got to go save my husband. And I keep on digging and my hands are fucking all blistered up and they're bleeding and I got dirt in my eyes and I can't see at times and I'm so fatigued and my muscles hurt and I'm getting cramps and I'm frustrated and I'm like, damn, how come nobody's coming down here to dig this hole? I'm not digging this hole for me, I'm digging this hole for us. And I'm frustrated and then I have to realize and tell myself, well, no, that's what a father does. That's what a husband does. That's what a man does, right? And I continue to dig that hole and it doesn't mean that it gets any easier or mentally or emotionally. I'm still not hurt because nobody really appreciates me digging this fucking hole. And I just keep on digging, right? And then after about 10 years, I start to hit like rocks, like bedrock, where I got to get a jackhammer now and I'm busting it open, right? And then I start to tell my family and I start to tell Rachel, look, guys, I just need some help, man. I need some help. It's getting too much. And then nobody really listens or they'll come and help for a little while. And it'll be the type of help that you could tell that they don't want to be there, but they're sort of just helping because you're begging. And then I say, you know what, I got it. Go ahead, go, guys, because I don't. I start to feel like I'm a burden to people. I say, you know what, just go ahead. I'll dig it. I'll finish it, right? And then I know I got 5 more feet to go, right? And I'm looking forward to digging this hole. And I said, all right, when I get to the bottom, then I can rest a little bit. I know it's not going to be forever rest, but I'll be able to rest for a little while. And then I keep on digging and keep on digging. And I'm hurting and I'm frustrated and I feel lonely down there and I'm depressed down there. And nobody sees it. Nobody sees it at all because they just expect he's been digging that hole for the past 12 years. He knows what he's doing. And we start to take things for granted. At one time, I took for granted that every time I pulled on that rope, I would get some water, right? And then I started pulling on a rope and nobody was bringing me any water. And I had to yell, yo, I need some water. And then it was like, all right, here, and, maybe throw me down a bottle of water. And then I start to build up resentments. And then they start to build up resentments because they're saying, damn, all dad is doing is digging his hole. They don't realize at the bottom of that hole is a sense of security for us, right? I'm not digging it because I want to. I'm digging it almost because I have to. And then I get to the bottom and I can see the payoff. I can literally see it there. And I say, okay, I just got to get it out now. I see like the box of treasure or maybe a big diamond. And I say, all right, it's right there. I can see it. I can touch it. I just got to get it out. And then all the dirt crumbles on top of me. All the support that I had built up over the years of neglecting it, it sort of gave out. And there was stuff that, Rachel had to do and maybe the children had to do just as us working together as a family to help keep those supports strong enough, right? And then the hole caves in. And me and Rachel, we always had a plan and said, look, if forever that hole comes in, I said, just promise me that you don't let me fucking get buried alive. That's my worst fear in the world. Just don't leave me if that hole collapses. Please, just promise me, just swear to me that you won't leave me if that hole collapses. And then the hole collapses. And because I told her when we first started digging that hole, I said, look, if this collapses on you, if you can count on nothing in the world, know that I'm coming to get you. I will never leave you down there. I said, she's going to come get me. She's going to come get me. So I say, all right, while I'm waiting for her to come get me, I might as well start digging up, right? So that we could meet in the middle somewhere. And even though I'm exhausted because I just been digging for the past 14 years, I'm digging up, and I'm pulling on that rope and pulling on the rope. And we had the signal, if you pull 3 times, that means it's an emergency. Come get me. And I figured they know that it caved in, right? They know that it's been falling and it's been weakening. My family's going to come get me. And I stay quiet and I try to listen. Nothing. I don't hear nothing. I don't hear anybody digging. Then I tell myself, well, there's a lot of space between us. I've been digging for a long time. So I keep on digging up and digging up and digging up. And then I get to, like the 3/4 mark. And I say, man, they should have been right about here if I think correctly, because there's 4 or 5 of them and there's one of me. So they should be right around there. And I say, no. I said, well, maybe I'm just a man. I'm stronger. Maybe I'm digging faster because I'm the one panicking. And I keep on digging and keep on digging. And I listen. I take a break and I listen. I don't hear nothing. I start pulling on the rope. And now I'm thinking, damn, this rope must have snapped in half in the course of all this chaos and the, this cave in. And then I get to the halfway point and I'm digging. And then I get to the 3/4 point, right? And then I start hearing and I'm like, thank God. Because for a little while, I started to think, did Rachel and the kids get stuck in this cave-in also? Did something happen up there? Right? Did something happen up there and they're not able to help me? Are they hurt? Are they stuck in this cave-in also? And then I try to tell myself, no, no, no. That's not what happened. That's not what happened. They were upstairs in the house. And then I start going. And I can hear it gets louder and I see, I sort of get relieved because I'm like, okay, they're coming. They're coming, right? And then I can hear somebody digging and I just see the dirt falling and I could tell. I say, okay, somebody's coming to get me. Rachel's coming to get me. I said, I knew my baby would fucking never let me down, right? Because we promised. We promised. I told her, I said, I swear I'll never let you. I swear, if you could count on nothing, you could count on the fact that if this hole fills up with dirt, I'm coming to get you. I promise you that. And I slowly started to feel like she abandoned me, right? But then I hear that digging and I say, thank God, thank God. Because I thought she forgot on me. That was my worst fear. And then I'm digging up and I could see a little bit of sunlight, right? Like just a little bit of light creeps in and I'm yelling and I can hear voices, but I can't really make them out. I can just hear, I've got dirt in my ears and dirt in my eyes and I'm a mess. Emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. I'm absolutely exhausted. Absolutely exhausted. And all I kept on thinking was, damn, I get to see my wife and I get to see my children and tell them just how much I love them and thank them. And I get to hold Rachel and tell her, thank you for living up to your end of the bargain, right? You promised me you wasn't going to leave me. You promised me you wasn't going to leave me at the bottom of that hole no matter what. And you didn't. Thank you. This is what I'm thinking. And then I start to dig a little bit more and dig a little bit more. And then we break a little bit of ground, right? And I put my hand up. I'm expecting Rachel to grab it and like kiss my hand and tell me, I got you. I told you I got you. I told you I wasn't going nowhere. And instead I feel little hand and I realize this is Major and this is Mercy. And then I really start to panic because I say, oh, where's your mom? Where's your mom? I know she would be here because she promised me she wouldn't abandon me if things got, if this cave-in happened. She promised me she wouldn't. And I believed her because I know what I said I meant. And then I just start digging down because I said she has to be here somewhere. I got to find her. And then I start digging back up and I realize when I get enough to poke my head through, I see Mary Jo and Mercy and they're crying, right? And I say, where's your mom? What happened? Where's your mom? And they say, mom's at Nana's house. And I said, what? I said, well, what do you mean? What happened? I said, what happened? Did she hurt? Is she all right? Are the girls all right? Is everybody all right? And they say, no, yeah, everybody's all right. They're at Nana's house. And then when I get up to the top, I look and I see the supports are still there. And I'm like, huh? I'm like, there's no way these supports could still be intact. We just had a cave in. And then I start to realize we didn't have a cave in. I start to realize I was buried. Start to realize I was buried. And I still can't believe it. I'm in absolute disbelief because I said I would never do this. There's no way. Hold up. Something has to be going wrong here. Right? And I start fucking pinching myself because I think I'm in a nightmare. And I realized, damn, it wasn't a cave in. It wasn't an accident. I was buried. I was buried. And then I start to replay in my head, damn, remember the last couple years I've been pulling that rope and asking for water and I wouldn't get any water, or sometimes I get water, but I'd have to pull 10 times And the code was if I pull one time, it means I need water. If I pull two times, it means I need food. Right? And now that I see what's going on, it hurts even more than when I was at the bottom of that pit. Because at least at the bottom of that pit, I thought that my wife and family were still going to be there. Now that I work, now that I make my way out, I start to realize, damn, it wasn't an accident. It wasn't a cave in. You were buried and left for dead. When I tell you it's the worst experience I've ever had in my life, it's the worst experience I've ever had in my life. The person that I didn't even want digging the hole because I didn't want them to get tired. I didn't want them to get dirty. I didn't want their hands to get all beat up. Forgot about all that and and buried me. And then now I'm out of the hole. And after a couple months, the fog starts to clear from my head. And now I can start going out in public without crying because I see other families happy and wonder, well, damn, where's my family? Right? And I start to ask, and I say, hey, what happened? Even though I know that I was buried, even though I know this, I still start to think, hold up, something else must have happened. And I start to ask, what happened? Did I mess up? And then I think it has to be my fault because she told me she wouldn't let me get buried. And I ask her, I say, what happened? She won't answer me. And then I say, okay, well, maybe this is just her response to this traumatic experience happened. She just seen her husband get buried because I'm still in denial that she buried me. And I say, all right, well, let me give her some space. Let me give her some time because I'm still putting her well being in front of mine, even though she just buried me. And a couple more months pass, and I ask, hey, what happened? What happened? Are you okay? Are you all right? I'm sure this had to be a horrible experience knowing that the person that you're supposed to love the most was buried down there. Are you okay? I'm all right. I'm all right. She won't answer me. She just ignores me. I'm completely dumbfounded. I'm like, why are you just ignoring me? Do you know what I just went through? And then I tell myself, she knows what I just went through. She's the one that buried me. And then I start to think back and say, man, maybe I shouldn't have pulled that rope as hard as I did, right? Maybe I shouldn't have got frustrated when I asked for water or needed a snack or something, right? And then I start asking other people and say, hey, is this normal? Like, do you think I was wrong here? And even though I pretty much know the answer, people say, well, no, I don't think so. I think that's kind of normal. And then it finally hits me. The person that I didn't want in that hole because I didn't want them to get dirty. I didn't want them to get their shoes dirty. I didn't want them to get their hands calloused up. I didn't want them to sweat and do all this hard work. Just buried me. Not only did they bury me, took my kids in the process. and benefited from all these years of me working hard and digging that hole and still benefit from it. And then you know what I realize? It's time to start building another hole, right? Because that's just the way life is. Time to start building another hole. Now I'm terrified. And I say, damn, the only people I have is my children. That's all I have. Not again, sir.